Hello everybody, Charlie here. Today we're playing Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney. Investigations. There are a few things I have to explain right off the bat, so let's get through them. First of all, when we're playing an Ace Attorney game this late into the series without ever having touched the other ones, well, I've played the first one all the way through. I know all the spoilers of the second one, and I know the big bad of the third one. So I don't really see a reason to go through with a game that I don't, have blindness to, except for this one. I have seen about the first hour and a half of this game, if not 2 hours, and I really like what I see, actually. A lot of fans are behind this, but it's never gotten a proper English translation for the second one, which is very interesting. But I'm assuming if you know Ace Attorney, you're probably going to be watching... let's reverse that sentence. If you're watching this, you probably know Ace Attorney, and if you don't know Ace Attorney, get on that. You can play the first few cases of the first game for free on the iPhone App Store I know of. I'm not sure about Android. So let's get started, shall we? Oh boy, that is... it's very loud. Episode 1, Turnabout Visitor. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. Bunch of question marks. Yes, we don't know where we are then. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. I'm not going to be giving voices to these characters quite yet. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe it wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Very pretty man. Let's go with that. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. It's a very loud game. March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe's been keeping an eye on my office, keeping it clean. So yes, I'm going to be doing my infamous voices for this one. I've actually tried doing this, recording it a few times. We had some audio issues, and I decided I'd just record this bit again because I've already seen it. So I gave Edgeworth a bit of a... well, I guess you'll see it. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe. What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze. No, I know who this is, I think. Actually, I don't know who this is. Never mind. I haven't gotten that far in the story yet. Identify yourself. Shut up. We got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Well, what a weird start to a game. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases in some very frantic and busy days. Hopefully that works. I'm up for change if need be. March 14th, 2:56 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. I just like to... I never really noticed this before, but this is happening at 3 a.m., so it's kind of weird how much energy these people have. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. I think Gumshoe's voice is my favorite to do. Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir. You okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with a local precinct. I'm the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. I have to get back into that groove with him. Looking a little pale, sir. You hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. Whatever. Ah! Look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say. The culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud in my office. Whoa! Sounds like you're really getting burned up by the whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Ho ho! That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information that we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do I use it? First, I recall information through the logic button, and then connect them together. Now to touch the logic button and recall the facts. Alright. So, this is one of the most enjoyable parts of the game, so far, for when I've played. You can just kind of like put together evidence and make new evidence with it. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to that conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Very bright as well. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! The best of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. So, this game is not like any other Phoenix Wright game. You get to move, which is fun. So we're gonna go for this gun first. What? Save? Sure. Like, oh, here we go. What over here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that that killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Kid wouldn't like me as to where. Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the one used by the precinct's detectives. Alright, next. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Well, first of all, his gut. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. We'll have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Okay then. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the new evidence we find, sir? Of course, this is the safest way in order to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. Keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. There we go. Alright, so I changed a bit of the controls. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh hey, I have the exact same actually. What a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith, it would appear that our victim was a detective just like you. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information, but I can only use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Alright then. So the victim was a detective. Let's connect that to the revolver. And I say we can do that. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to a recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. I don't know, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. Let's see what else we can find about this revolver. As I always say, you gotta really look carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar and the X and Y arrows to zoom in and out and to get into the nitty-gritty. Well, let's just go through this quick. We're looking at the barrel. I've seen a bit of this. Looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer must have killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. And I believe... oh, no, we can find this as well. Your files lower the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, and I try so hard to keep this place spotless while you're away. I mean, this just made all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I water the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. And she added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day, every Saturday, I'd come in and clean the place until it sparkled. Does he even have a life? I guess this is about all we're gonna find out. We should send the body to
Jim! Why? How could this have happened to a guy like you?
Are you alright?
Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be!
Sorry, but I can't do that. Investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
Sure. Just in a blood-stained suit, pal.
Where are my manners?
Aren't you that prosecutor?
Why, yes I am. I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here is my partner in crime busting.
I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
Sir Miles Edgeworth, I guess this is your office.
Yes, that is correct.
Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim.
Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just come down, okay?
I will not. I know how things work around here. My prosecutor's office's doors always have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door.
That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could have got in here was me. Ho 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 ho! Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means.
So who's you then? You're Jim's killer.
No way, pal. I've got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct. If you're a real prosecutor, you should know how to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawn to conclusions?
Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are a cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You know, the guy who lost to an attorney during his second trial. You know, his second trial ever. Like, ever. Like, in his life. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
A pleasure to work with you.
You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all.
Thank you. Intend to.
I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there!
Sir!
I want to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner Jim.
Edgeworth looks like he's just so, like, impatient. I mean, it is like 3 a.m. I should probably give them some space. What about you? What's up with you? I'm touching you pretty weirdly. Do you have anything to report?
Sir, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction. Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. Oop. Hope I can settle this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa. That thing looks like a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir. Detective Gumshoe. You know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard to be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Alright then. Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? Must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. The killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well. They didn't shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in. What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods and I'll conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it, the bullet holes where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. Sure. When I've found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Okay. No, I don't want to... Alright, what button have I set for things? Eureka! Huh. Let's see, talking to the... Can I Alright, I guess I'll just click the screen then. Eureka! This bullet hole is a contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. And the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right! However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too! Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? By the way, you noticed something, sir? Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Oh, that's a secret safe. That's a secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. What of that? Talk about dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, and I've kept it clean for you, sir. So when did I put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. Only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. And that's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. So, yeah. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Well, there is the obvious, why is this part not dusted? Or is this part dusted? Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, forensic scientist?
Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir.
Their voices are going to be changing whenever I want because they're minor characters.
I couldn't find let alone a lift. A single print. Looks like it was wiped down well.
Why don't we get, Emma? She exists in this universe, doesn't she? I don't remember. Yeah, she exists. Pretty sure. As I thought, it appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly play connected dots with the information we have. Okay then. Logic it is. Well, the killer's goal and the wiped fingerprints probably go together well. At least I'm guessing. I believe I figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing the motive was behind this was break-in theft changes the other piece of information. Changes what the other piece of information you tell me about this crime. What does this tell me? I think that tells us that like he was going for a shelf as well. There's a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir! I meant a shelf of files you've never seen before, even in a library. I'm sure. Let's give that a try.
What all the good ones have to die so young? Surely you must ponder that once in a...
Take it slowly.
Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth.
No matter how much we lament, the dead won't come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth.
And so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth?
First, we can restore the files to the rightful place.
You got it. Here, let me help.
So this file goes here, and that book goes there.
You should know a lot about where things go, so I'm in Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done. It appears that the murderer definitely... it would appear that the murderer definitely was... Freaking... It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. Ah, bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect that the victim was killed in the standing position, hence the print on the shelf. And the guy fell on the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm not good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Well, what's that doing there? This is where the bullet launched itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be launched so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. And I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Let's deduce that. Because, is this somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? This, probably? Got him. There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole to itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole would be much higher up. What if the guy was shot while he's sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. That means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means that you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that a current contradiction was born. What was the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh. Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0. What I was doing all the way down there after 1, 2, 3. That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as they see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those with
Those white binders are special, so they arrange a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Think it'd be okay to prop the body back up now to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it logically should be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith, then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Oh, that was Gumshoe. Exactly. And then he proceeded to shoot the victim. Oh, someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time. Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray once or twice. Once before and once after the crime, but why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Well, there are those handprints. These handprints along the victim, right? They make sense to the body position. Yes, he must have left them when he was trying to support himself after he was shot. However, the final position of the body shows that it was moved. Maybe go over this crime scene with a fine-toothed comb one more time. Alright. This. What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No, wait! There's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me! Say something, sir! It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Investigation complete. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it! I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. There must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with his technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Maybe some other time. Mr. Portsman, if you're ready. Oh, if you don't have time, you could just say so, sir. Like, Gumshoe is one of my favorite characters. Just the way he, the different attitudes he has with different people. It's almost adorable how much he sucks up to Edgeworth and even. Mr. Portsman Locke. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And only by his final words that you'll be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. I'll show you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman. There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I'll find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. So, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I did this, I didn't see something really obvious, and I was here for more than half my health bar. So, let's just, you know, make up for that. Let's just fix that. Let's just right my wrong. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Hey, bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it a bit odd. Excuse me? I'll let a fellow prosecutor be brought down with the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Oh, what's impossible? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. And the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner? I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be as proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who gets on the sight of blood. Which means... what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic medal. Olympic gold, I don't know. I appreciate the prize, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Meh, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
Ooh. Ooh. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence.
I want to sense that you still have something to say.
Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with the key to this office?
One other person?
Hey, you there.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Oh, that's Gumshoe's wife. Whatever.
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't. What's wrong with him all of a sudden?
Ooh. I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security.
Alright, so get this. I was thinking of what voice to give her. And then I thought of it. Gumshoe has a very heavy kind of, I forgot what it's called, but, you know, a heavy influence on her. So I figured she might sound like him, but as a girl. So get this. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie.
Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight.
I see. Your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building.
What?
If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird.
How dare you? I can never sneak into someone's room. That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it.
You take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here.
What are you...
That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason.
Ooh, more of this.
Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. Excuse me.
So you're saying she used the master key? So you're saying she used the master key?
Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about this evidence earlier as well.
That was then. This is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
I wonder if there was anyone else other than Mr. Bird who could have used the master key. It seems the only way to get Mr. Portsman to please give him more details is to press him. Did I say please? That's silly. Rebuttal. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, That leaves only Maggie Bird as our prime suspect. Oh, wait. So that's... Alright, that's press, alright. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions?
Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else.
I'll have you know, I have never made a spare. So what are you insinuating?
Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. On top of which, she knows her good detective, doesn't she? Make it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to. But first, we should listen a bit more and digest what he's saying. And press him for more information. Alright, get it. Pretty obvious. Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key?
There's only one person on the staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to? What is that supposed to mean?
Yes, moving on. I hate to get sidetracked with something unrelated.
What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
Should I hear Miss Bird out? Oh, that was an accident. Maybe I should pay more attention to what Mr. Portham says for now. That was a mistake. That was a big old mistake. Let's just go through all this again. Sorry. Yes, alright. Not so fast. I'm too interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I just say that you wasted time? You don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing around 1 AM, sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere near the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of her testimony. Don't you?
I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
If that's the case, then I'd like to know. Why do you have the master key now?
I don't quite know. Just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Huh, a likely story. Where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. For me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me. You don't know just how bad her luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking in Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe.
It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. It is as he says. Can't ignore the fact that all the evidence point towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own.
Her intent, from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say it's thievery. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. Well, it was only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of that,
oh wait, so that's just... Alright. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly.
It was just theory, one hypothesis among many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning.
If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first?
Now, don't make that face, see? There goes the truth, running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it.
I don't think you're catching my drift.
Oh, but we are in agreement that Detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect.
Alright, let's present something. Wait. It was the edited thing, he said. So, 1 over? Yeah. Got him. Very slow animations. Do you wish to continue insinuating that Miss Bird was set on stealing something?
Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway.
It may be true, but you must also be aware that the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors.
Ah!
I find it a little hard to believe that the hidden safe was a part of a cunning plan.
But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for.
After all, only the bookshelf and safe were targeted. Go.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor?
Interesting conclusion. It's definitely looking more and more probable.
What's wrong, prosecutor?
Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses! Why? What made you?
Well, what's with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault.
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
And that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him to. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief?
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird.
Excuse me?
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You still accuse Maggie of the murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who probably drew his gun. I get it. It was a self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even as the thief, he couldn't have the key to the office.
It was precisely why he had to steal it, when you say. It was Jim who stole the master key.
Ah!
Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless he retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief?
I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense.
Has he no honor?
Now then, I think we're done here. Investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to sit yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Just have Gumshoe. Calm yourself.
But sir,
we have no choice but to accommodate his request for now.
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again.
That's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, and I'd suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear?
Wow. Wow. Good game so far. I mean, only played about, 45 minutes, maybe 60 minutes. I like the game. It has a lot of good elements, and I think we're going to find a lot more out. So, really happy to do this series. I've been really looking forward to doing a new series where I could voice act, and here it is. So, next time, we'll see you. But let me do my full outro. Thank you all for watching. I've been Trumlock, and until next time, guys, bye-bye.